Hello everyone, this is Nilanjana and today we are going to dive into the intricacies of the carbon border adjustment mechanism. The world today is absolutely aware of the pace with which the climate is changing and how the planet screams for immediate action. In this fight against global warming and the urgent need for climate control, globally renowned organizations have come up with several key policies. One of such initiatives is the European Union-led Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, which stands out for its peculiarities. Picture this, a marketplace where brands are not only contesting on quality and price, but also on their climate impact. Interesting, isn't it? To understand this in depth, let's get into the ins and outs of the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism and learn how it reduces carbon emissions while simultaneously establishing a more sustainable global economy. With the aim of addressing the issue of carbon leakage in the course of trading, the European Union came up with this innovative policy called the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. Popularly known as CBAM, this strategic tool is designed to levy a carbon price on imported goods on the basis of their carbon footprint. In simpler words, CBAM puts a fair price on the carbon released during the production of the carbon-intensive goods that are entering the European Union, therefore helping ensure that the carbon price of the imported goods is equivalent to the carbon price of the domestic production. Designed strategically to be compatible with the World Trade Organization's guidelines, the CBAM's key objective is to regulate worldwide carbon emissions and promote cleaner production processes across the globe. The goods manufactured in countries with lenient emission regulations, even though cheaper to produce, end up releasing a high amount of greenhouse gases. When some companies move their goods production to countries with low emission rules, it provides the producers of those nations with a cost benefit over the producers of nations with stricter emission standards. With CBAM in effect, this very cost advantage is eliminated by imposing the same price on the carbon-intensive goods made domestically or abroad. On the 17th May 2023, the European Union regulation on the CBAM was adopted. But the CBAM's transitional period began on 1st October 2023. This transitional period will conclude on 31st December 2025, within which the importers will only be required to abide by the emissions reporting obligations without worrying about the CBAM-related payments. However, with the beginning of January 2026, the importers will start facing escalating financial obligations, which will build up till 1st January 2034 with the aim of achieving 100% offset of emissions. This will further help in contributing to the European Union's goal of achieving climate neutrality by the year 2050. Here is the detailed explanation of how the CBAM will function. From the 1st October 2023 to the 31st of December 2025, businesses importing goods in the European Union must declare the total number of goods imported and the amount of carbon released from every single good in their quarterly reports. From 1st January 2026, the importers are required to purchase the CBAM certificates on the basis of emissions embedded in their products. If the country that has produced the carbon-intensive goods has already paid a carbon price during the production process, the equivalent amount thereof will be deducted to avoid double taxation, thus helping build a fair playing field for all the producers. Since CBAM targets carbon-intensive sectors that are highly vulnerable to carbon leakage, there are some key products that are targeted under this policy. These are steel. A major contributor to carbon emissions, steel industries can adopt low-carbon steel technologies to align with CBAM. Aluminium. Being energy-intensive, the aluminium industry needs to adhere to the CBAM for greener production. Cement. A necessity for construction and infrastructure, cement is a high carbon emission industry that requires immediate regulation. Electricity. Importing electricity, especially from fossil fuel sources, also needs to abide by the CBAM. hydrogen. While becoming a key fuel alternative, the whole process of hydrogen production is itself carbon intensive. Fertilizers. Fertilizers used for agricultural purposes emit a great deal of carbon, posing a high environmental and health challenge.